Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Rabbi Jeff Saxe, Rabbi Alexandra Stein, Cantor Rachel Rhodes. We are so excited to be here with all of you as we celebrate with the Cloutier family as Grant and Molly become B'nai Mitzvah, take a new role in their community, and celebrate this coming of age. Both of them are going to take part in the service and undergo this life cycle event. Grant was unwell the last couple of days, and he's fine, but he's a little tired, so he's just taking it easy and back for some of the service. And we are going to have a wonderful time together, celebrating and singing together and praying together. I would invite you, as you share this event with us, to feel comfortable participating in all of the service. There are prayer books in the seat backs in front of you, or if you're in the very front, they should be underneath the seat. And you can take them out, please, and take a look. There are prayers in Hebrew that are transliterated. We invite you to try your hand at the Hebrew and, of course, join in the English readings, too. If you are joining the service via streaming, we also invite you to follow along by clicking on the PDF that is in an icon above the video box labeled Sanctuary Prayer Book, and we'll be telling you the page numbers that you can follow along with as well.
We're going to do a lot of singing together, and in a moment we'll join in words that you can find in your program under the Mincha column, the afternoon service column. And you actually passed under these words when you came into the sanctuary this morning. Sanctuary, ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti betocham. Make for me a sanctuary and I will dwell among you. Of course, we know that when we gather together to celebrate a joyful event, we can feel the specialness of the moment, the spirituality of that moment, and invite God into our midst. So I hope that it's a familiar melody and that you'll join us. Oh God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti betocham v'anachnu nevarech Yah me'ata ve'ad olam. Oh God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
We would now like to invite Mark and Valerie to take a moment with Molly to share a private blessing. They've also shared a private blessing with Grant, and while they do that, to invite all of you to think about what blessings do you want to share with this family today that we can all bring into our space together.
To a place you do not know. Lech ilach. On your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lech
Our service continues on page 6, near on the bottom half. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We turn now to page 188 as we join in these words of Psalm 150, thanking God for the ability to raise our voices together in song and prayer. And you might know the melody, but if you don't, the words are just hallelujah, and as you get to know it, I hope you'll join us.
To invite forward Molly to lead us in the Amidah, our central prayer. If it's comfortable for you, please rise. We're on page 226.
Please join me as we chant the prayers on the next two pages together. Adonai sefatai tiftach upi ki tefilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot v'imahot, Ve'mevi Gevurah livnei v'nehem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai,
Magen Avraham, Yezrat Sarah.
We continue in responsive prayer on page 229. Our fathers and mothers prayed, each to their own experience of God, each to their own visions, which we have come to share.
Abraham, with the fervor of justice, pleaded the cause of cities. Sarah, in the pain of waiting, dared to hope for new life.
Isaac, meditating alone in the field, lifted his eyes to find love. Rebekah asked for the ability to discern God's call.
Jacob climbed the rungs of his night into heaven, seeking destiny. Leah dreamed of love, and Rachel sought harmony.
We, as they, seek God's presence. We continue together on page 230 with Givurot. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol, ata rav lechoshia, morid hatam, mehakel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, Ishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umidomelach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lechachot hakol, baruch ata Adonai, mechayeh hakol. We continue responsively on the next page. Your might, O God, is everlasting. Help us to use our strength for good and not evil.
You are the source of life and blessing. Help us to choose life for ourselves and our children.
You are the support of the falling. Help us to lift up the fallen.
You are the author of freedom. Help us to free the captive.
You are our hope, in death as in life. Help us to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
Your might, O God, is everlasting. Help us to use our strength for good.
For blessing and not for curse, for life and not death, for abundance, not want. We continue with the Kedushah on page 232.
Moshiach
generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Our service continues on page 234. Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, b'ritzei v'imnuchatenu, kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein helkeinu b'toratecha, sabeinu mitzuvecha, v'samechenu b'shuatecha, v'tacher libeinu le'ovdecha be'emet, v'hanhilenu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava uvratzon, Shabbat kodshecha v'yanuhu v'Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Please join me responsibly on page 235. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the
For the
strength
strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise.
For the peace in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For the
For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer blessing.
I'm sorry for going into the exit. I'm not really feeling that well, so.
You're great, Grant. You're just fine. So we are on page 236. Grant is going to lead us in this prayer.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, Beha Meha Yisrael, Refila Tam, Behava, Hingabel, Udhiler Son, Tamid Avodat, Yisrael, Ameha El Kro, the Hok of Pene El Avodaha, Behohenu, Ok Raha, Lahenu. Adonai our God, may we, your people, be worthy in our deeds and in our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in all lands, Zion restored. In all lands you are God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, lavadeha shehoteha laveha. Sorry, guys. B'yira navod.
You're doing great.
Amen.
Amen.
Page 238. Modim anaknu, lak shatahu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, v'imotenu, l'olam va'ed, sor hainu, v'yein yis'enu, atahu l'dor v'dor, for the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all that we are and all we might yet become. For the creative seed sown within our minds, for nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts we thank you, O God, and pray that ourselves worthy. May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely with love and the true messengers of the blessing of this world. Baruch atah Adonai hatav sheholah na'lehodo.
Amen. Well done, Grant. And thank you for leading us up to the prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on the next page.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Continue now with our own silent prayer and meditation.
Ose Shalom Bimromav, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imleru
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So nice of all of you to join us this afternoon on this beautiful Shabbat day to celebrate Molly and Grant and all they've accomplished. They've worked so incredibly hard to get to this moment of bar and bat mitzvah, becoming Jewish young adults in our community. And we're thrilled that you're here to see all that hard work pay off, as both of them have led us so beautifully. Grant, if you can hear me, in worship. Molly, you two led us so beautifully already. And soon they'll reach the pinnacle moment where both of them will be called up as bar and bat mitzvah with this new status of Jewish young adult. And they will read from our holy text from the Torah. And it's a wonderful moment to witness in their lives. And we know that along with their parents and family in our congregation, we're also blessed to be part of this incredible moment. In a second, we'll take the Torahs out of the ark, and then we'll process around the sanctuary. And you may notice people touching the Torah either with their talit, their prayer book, or their hand. And this is simply a sign of love and respect for our Torah as it makes our way around the sanctuary. So if you feel comfortable, I invite you to do the same. And in a second, after we take the Torahs out, Molly and Grant will have the opportunity to be passed the Torah and to hold it in their arms. And it's a wonderful, proud moment, of course, for their parents, but also for their grandparents. So it's an honor for me to wish a mazel tov to Molly and Grant's grandparents, to Carolyn Cloutier, to Leslie and Fred Hart, to Robert and Deborah Axelrod. Mazel tov to you all. And I'd like to invite the grandparents to join us up on the bima for the Torah passing. Invite the congregation to please, on the floor for the Torah passing. Thank you. And for the congregation to please rise as we begin our Torah service.
In kamo chava Elohim Adonai, en kamasecha, alechutecha
Grant, as you receive this Torah, remember its teachings, its wisdom, and its history. Let it guide you this day and all days. As you embrace it, so may you embrace what it has meant for the Jewish people over the generations. Judaism is history and hope, learning and laughter. We pray that the story of the Jewish people continues brightly with you as you grow as a person and as a Jew. May you embrace the Torah your whole life.
Molly Rose, may you cherish the message of this Torah. It is a guidebook passed down from generations of Jews before you who have kept Judaism alive. We take great pride this day in your acceptance of Torah. This responsibility requires strength, knowledge, commitment, and love. Today you have brought these qualities to the Jewish people and therefore are part of the link of the chain of Jewish tradition. May you embrace Torah your whole life.
We continue with the words of Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. God Elul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagidula, ha'limuna, ha'tiferet, ha'netzach, ha'od. Ki kol bashamayim u'va'aretz, ki kol bashamayim u'va'aretz. Echad Adonai ha'mamlaka, v'yamitnaseh lechol lerosh. Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'istachhavu, la'adam raglav kadosh. Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'istachhavu, le'ar kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Please be seated.
Hi, everyone. The Torah portion for this Shabbat that Grant and I will be reading is called Shoftim. It comes from the book of Deuteronomy, and my Hebrew reading begins with the chapter 16, verse 18. In this portion, we learn of the commandment to pursue justice. Magistrates are put in place to govern the people with due justice. In Grant's reading, we learn that once they enter the Promised Land, the people are permitted to have a king, as long as the king is chosen by God. Laws are established to ensure that the community will provide for the Levites who have no territorial portion. You can find the Torah reading in the Torah commentary books located at your seats beginning on page 1294.
For the first Aliyah, for Molly's reading this afternoon, it's an honor to call upon her aunts, Danny Axelrod and Julie Axelrod. Tamona Aliyah Torah.
This side.
You can take your mask off and then put the blessing if you like.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'chabanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Shoftim v'shodrim teten lecha b'chol sha'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lishvotecha v'shoftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek lo tateh mishpat lo takir panim ve'lo tikach shochad ki ha'shochad ya'aver einei achamim v'salef divrei tzadikim tzedek tirdof Leman techiyeh v'shtat ha'aretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Beautiful job. The two of you can sit or stand next to me on my left here. And for Molly's second Aliyah for the reading this afternoon, it's an honor to call upon her aunt, Rachel Love, and her uncle, Russ Axelrod. Yamdu Aliyah Torah.
You got it.
You can take your mask off if you like.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'chabanu Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Amen. Lateta lecha asherah kol eitz el mizbach Adonai Elohecha asher ta'aseh lach ve'lo takim lecha matzeva asher sanei Adonai Elohecha lo tizbach Adonai Elohecha shur v'aseh asher yehivu mum kol davara Kito avat Adonai Elohecha hu.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Shakloch, beautiful job. The two of you may have a seat. The two of you want to join me here. Okay, and it's my pleasure and honor to call Grant up to the Torah to say the blessing for the very first time as bar mitzvah. Yamod, 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 habachor habar mitzvah, Gideon Meir ben Reuven, Pavel v'Rachel al Torah chazak.
Okay, take your towel. And take your towel and touch. That's right.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'chabanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
That's how we do it.
Don't leave.
Okay, I won't.
Ki matzeh v'kirbecha b'echad sharecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach ish o isha asher ya'aseh et hara b'nei Adonai Elohecha levor berito vayelech vayavod Elohim acherim v'yishtachu lachem v'lashemesh o le'areach Oh, lachotza v'hashemayim asher lo tziviti v'chagod lecha v'shamata v'darashta hetev v'hinei emet nachon adavar ne'eshta hato'eva hazod be'Yisrael v'chotzeta et ha'ish hahu Oh, et ha'isha hahi asher asu et hadavar hara hazeh el sha'arecha et ha'ish et ha'isha uskaltam ba'avanim v'metu al pi shenayim edim shelsha edim yumat hamet Lo yumat al pi edechad.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. I'm just going to start over, right? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Don't go away.
Well done, Grant. Don't go
Now it's your
away.
turn to read Torah.
Gonna switch with
Oh,
your sister.
man.
It's okay. And Molly, now it's my pleasure to invite you up for the first time as bat mitzvah by your Hebrew name to chant the blessing for the Torah reading. Tamot, 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 habachura bat mitzvah. Chava Malka bat Reuven Favel v'Rachel le'alya Torah chazak.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayome Adonai Elai Haiti v'asher diberu navi akim lahem mikera alehem gamoha v'nati divarai bifi v'diber alehem ekol asher atzivenu v'haya asher Yishmael Divarai Sher Yediber. I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot the words. I forgot the words.
Anochi. We're almost done. Let's see if you get this part together.
Anohi and Rosh Meimo. I'm sorry, I forgot the words.
It's okay, you got it.
That's why you have.
I knew it. I knew them, but I practiced them, but I got nervous and forgot them.
It's okay, great. You did great.
Grant, where does it end? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Beautiful job, Molly. Beautiful job, Grant. Fabulous work. We're going to dress the Torah now, and it's an honor to call upon Jason,
Grossman, Axel, and Marty Jean.
Marty, Jean, and Axel. Thank you, Molly. To join us up on the bima to help dress the Torah, and I invite the congregation to please rise.
We continue on page 256 as we return the Torah to the Ark. Please remain standing. Please be seated.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out and celebrating this day with me. I've been looking forward to it for years. When I think about what it means to become a bat mitzvah, it means to become an adult. This comes with a lot more responsibility, and maybe, Mom and Dad, it'll come with a pay raise. But in all seriousness, becoming a bat mitzvah is a huge accomplishment that is all about growing as a Jew and as a person through the teachings of Torah. For my Torah portion, I read from Deuteronomy. This portion outlines the way we should set up our justice system. It talks about magistrates, court systems, and bribes, but most importantly, it talks about pursuing justice. In my first aliyah, we hear the quote, "Tzedek, tzedek tirdof," meaning justice, justice you shall pursue. This stood out to me because if you know anything about me, you know I'm a raging activist, and I always have been. That's just how my parents raised me. They taught me to always stand up for what I believed in, so I did. I remember in the first grade, my teacher would have to move the chairs every day at the end of class. She would always ask for some strong boys to help her move the chairs. The boys would take one chair in both their arms and walk really slowly to the back of the classroom. And then I would take a chair in each hand and run past the boys just to prove that I could do it and I could do it even better than them. Experiences like that have stuck with me throughout my entire life and have helped me form who I am today. What's interesting to me about my portion is the way that it's written. The Torah generally addresses the whole tribe of Israel and the Jewish people as a whole, but in my portion, it uses singular pronouns. The quote I mentioned earlier, "Tzedek, tzedek tirdof," uses the singular you. It's not talking about the community, but it's talking about you, about me, about the individual. Really, the big thing that I took away from this portion is that we all have a responsibility to pursue justice in the world around us. When I started talking to Miss Jenny, my tutor, about what my Torah portion meant, I immediately knew what I wanted to do for my community service project. Our world is filled with so many injustices, but one that I've always been passionate about is LGBTQ rights. Since I have been born, I have witnessed the Don't Ask, Don't Tell law be repealed, marriage equality achieved, and so many more milestones in our country. But not everyone has had that luxury. In so many places around the world, you can still be jailed or even killed just for who you love. So I did my research, and I found an amazing nonprofit called All Out, who fight for people to be able to be open about who they are. They use the money they raise to send lawyers, lobbyists, and representatives to countries that still have anti-LGBTQ laws in place in a global effort to change them. I had found my project. I reached out to them, told them all about my project, my bat mitzvah, what I wanted to accomplish, and asked how I could help. They helped me set up a page where people could donate to them as a way of celebrating me. I raised some money for them as my way of helping their global movement. I learned a lot about how fortunate I am to live in this place where we are all allowed to love whoever we want. There are still so many places where that is just not the reality, and that really makes me think. I want to thank all the people who helped me get to where I am today. I'd like to thank Miss Jenny Rudo, who taught me my Torah portion here and for Israel and all my prayers, because she's just amazing. And Rabbi Saxe and Cantor Rhodes and my brother for helping me with my service. My friends who watch me freak out a little bit more every single day. especially Eliana, who's probably heard my Aliyah like 8,000 times before today. My friends from camp who have helped me shape my identity as a Jew, and my grandparents and aunts and uncles who have always been there for me, and my parents who are responsible for the women you see here today. Thank you all again for coming. I can't wait to party with you all tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Right.
Now everyone can hear you. You don't have to be too loud, okay?
All right.
Oh, you want to stand over on this side? Because there's a lot
Yeah,
of sun right here.
there is a lot of sunlight. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
All right, listen up. I'm not gonna exaggerate. I'm pretty embarrassed about my own speech. I'm not gonna lie. I had to cut a lot of my own like pizzazz for this. If you know. Rachel probably knows what we're talking about. She's seen me writing. Anyways, I want to thank for everyone to come out, for coming out. As far as California, show of hands. Or Washington, show of hands. No? No, I didn't mean DC, I meant Washington State. I want to just thank everyone, even though I'm pretty sure you're all going to laugh at this tour portion. No, okay. My tour portion focuses on the Jewish people to select the king. Let's be honest. I know we're all a Democratic Party, so this is probably a boo-hoo in our favor. Okay, no one laughed? All right. There's the applaud sign right over there. Hey. Anyways, I'm just gonna get to it. I don't want to keep you here because I know you all of you just want to party. Basically, the reason you came to this event, to get more party points. Do what I do best, Mom. Anyways, the king and how you treat equal. The king is just a man above anyone else and equal to his brethren. Well, that's pretty much stupid because he planted all the wheat first and then you all came and then lived on his land. Okay, I'll read the speech. Chill, man. Anyways, on to chapter 7 about choosing a king. He shall not keep many horses and send people to his horses. So basically, horses were basically like gold then. They were like collectibles. And they were like really rare, so sell people, get some horses. That's not okay in my book, though. And also send people back to Egypt is referring of slaves. If anyone's read the Bible here, or the Torah, show of hands. Okay. My portion also says that the king shall not amass silver and gold to excess, which means he's probably going to be like Bill Gates. He probably has so much money like Bill Gates. Hey, no, come on. I'm fine. I'm not going off the rails anymore. Okay. I promise.
Okay. All right. Everyone has gotten their little shirt. Everyone's good.
And there's no equality between the rich and the poor in America. And most of the time, if you're poor in America, you stay poor. You stay poor. That's because they have less opportunity. So even if you have a job, you don't have an address. So basically, where are they going to send the money to? Okay, no one knows? Okay. It's hard to get a job even if you do have a place to send the money. Wait, I just read that. What am I doing? Sometimes people with less money or have a harder time accessing the internet, which is important today. You can buy food there. you can stay in contact there. You can go to school, you can work while caring for your family. If you don't have internet access, none of this is possible. Now, for my favorite, I get to talk about the Levites. Okay. Okay. In chapter 18 of my Torah portion, we talked about the tribe of Levi. They were ancient priests, and they needed our sacrifices to live off. They lived in poverty so they can serve God. They lived only off the Lord's offerings and shall have no portion among their other tribes. They lived off of charity or offerings of the Jewish people. And this is an example of those who work in their own wealth and who share blessed fortunate, and those who not. And those who need, who give what you can. Giving, oh, my head hurts. Giving up doesn't mean giving up money or food. It can be giving up time or sharing knowledge. When people give to the less fortunate, it becomes equal. My mitzvah project was to build a bike, okay, for the less fortunate. Man, it was a lot of work. I did not like it, but I did it, all right? And I know some of you are coughing, which probably means you're not really focusing right now, okay? Now, I'm gonna do it my way. So, I'm gonna get through this part, and then we can get to the real funny part, which I hid from my parents when they weren't looking. Okay, my mitzvah project was build a bike for it. I work for an organization called Phoenix Bikes in Alexandra, there, who's build bikes and gives them away. They are a nonprofit, and they sell donated bikes and fixes them. To support giving bikes and those in need, I gave up half of my Saturday, and I love my Saturdays. I very much so love my Saturdays. For 8 weeks. First, I learned how to fix a bike, then I learned how to build a bike, and then I learned how to give away to someone in need. It will be donated to Afghan refugees to help them get to and from work. It made me feel better because I did something to help someone in need. Now, there is something I want to say. Before I did, when I was doing the thank you part, Dad did not take out a part that I absolutely hated. I'm not going to say it, but you made me really get mad, Dad. Okay, no? Okay. There's a lot of people I want to help me prepare for my bar mitzvah. First, I would like to thank the animals. Milo, may you rest in peace. See you. Okay. I would like to thank Jack, my service dog. Hey. Okay. I would like to thank Marie Antoinette and Frida Kahlo, and would like to thank Yofi because her crazy antics basically kept me laughing because during this boring speech, didn't say the A word, did not. Anyways, now I would like to thank the humans. I would like to thank Aunt Danny for coming all the way from Washington. I would like to thank Miss Jenny. I would like to thank Cantor Shabbat, Rabbi Saxe, and I would like to thank my therapist, Miss Megan, because she helped spend a lot of time in practice. I would like to thank Molly for spending this day with me. I'm going to thank Mom and Dad together for just raising me. I don't want to say anything. I'm going to also add on a few things because I didn't know how many people will be here.
Grant, you can save that for the reception, okay?
All right, the reception's for that. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Grant. Oh, good. I'm glad you're able to join for this moment too, because I want to say a congratulations to both of you. Good job, Grant. Good job, Molly. Well done. I know you had a moment in Israel where you celebrated this. It is really special for us to be able to be here with you and with your family as you mark this moment. Thank you for your Torah readings. Thank you for your prayers. Grant, I don't think I've ever seen anyone speak off the cuff so much in becoming bar mitzvah, and that is worth something. That is something to be proud of. So you have a future ahead of you as a speaker, and we appreciated your sharing real thoughts and feelings with the congregation. Molly, I loved your teaching about justice. Your offerings of these words, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, and we could really feel that this was a perfect portion for you because you called yourself, as I loved, a raging activist. And I can feel that in you, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the ways that you will go forth and change the world and advocate for yourself and for others in the future. This is one of the most famous verses that Molly happened to have in her reading, tzedek, tzedek tirdof. And Molly, you talked really eloquently about one of the wonderful interpretations of this verse. It's a strange verse because it has the word tzedek twice. And we'll use a word twice just to add meaning. But the rabbis of the commentary love to seize upon repeated words in the text and ask the question of why that extra word was necessary, because in Torah, each word is used for a specific reason. Molly, you shared with us one interpretation of that, or you got us close to one of those interpretations, when you pointed out that tzedek, tzedek tirdof is in the singular. That even though the Torah is speaking to the entire Jewish people, that the commandment is given just in the singular, that each of us individually is responsible for pursuing justice. And this is one of the explanations that the sages reached for why the word justice was repeated. That one was to represent the individual in seeking righteousness and seeking justice for oneself, and the other is for reaching for communal justice and justice in our world, which I know that both of you, Molly and Grant, are dedicated to doing in your lives. Other reasons that the rabbis pointed to, perhaps one was for the study of justice and study of Torah to create justice, and one is for taking action to bring about justice. Perhaps one was for strictly following the law, and one was for finding times to compromise. And I also want to point to another teaching that, Molly, you brought us. My favorite reason the sages point to as to why tzedek is repeated twice, justice shall you pursue, is that the first justice points to the justice that we hope to see in the world, the perfect justice that we strive for. And the other one is the recognition that the world is still broken, that you pointed out, Molly, so many times in your speech, the ways in which we need to work to create a more just and a better world. And that we need to strive to accept that none of us is perfect, that our world is not perfect, and it is broken, and that it is all of our duty to step up and to do our part to make the world a better place. And it's a life journey. So this is a journey that we mark a point on that journey today in your becoming bar and bat mitzvah, Grant and Molly, and we look forward to seeing the ways that you will lead our community in pursuing justice throughout your lives. Cantor Rhodes and Rabbi Stein and I want to offer a blessing to you on behalf of all of us. So I want to ask the four of you to stand in front of the ark, and I'd invite the congregation to rise for this blessing.
May God bless you and keep you both.
Molly and Grant, may God always turn God's face to you and be gracious to you. May God throughout your lives shine a light upon both of you. May God give you courage. May God guide you in straight paths. And may God most of all help you to feel connected to this tradition that you just accepted today. Help you find in that connection a connection with the world and the community around you, and fill you with a sense of peace, of wholeness, of shalom. Amen.
Taking your place in an enduring line. This is the day that you stood up to say, our tradition is mine. You have now held the Torah. It's been passed on to you. It's our law and our story, and each telling is new. It is said we stood at Sinai, and today you know you're there. You're the promise of a people, a blessing and a prayer.
We remain standing, and I invite you to return to your prayer book to page 282 for the concluding prayers.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gdula v'yotzer breshit, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed aretz, u'moshav yekarov ha'shamayim imol, u'shchinatu zo b'gofei meromim, hu Eloheinu einon, va'anachnu korayim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא
We remain standing, if you're comfortable, for just a moment as we turn now to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. We think in this moment of all of those who have been a part of our lives, whom we miss, and for whom we are grateful, and especially this afternoon we think of Molly and Grant's grandfather, Dennis Cloutier, who, while not with us, is so much a part of this moment by bringing his memory to it. And I invite you to join me in these words of Mourner's Kaddish, which are really words of praise. Every word in the Kaddish is nothing but an utterance of praise of God. So it is with gratitude for Dennis's life and for all the lives whom we are thinking of in this moment that we say these words. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi. Be'amad divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon. U'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'almei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Amen. Please be seated. I invite past president of our congregation, Susan Weinstock, to present some gifts and some congratulations to the B'nai Mitzvah and some greetings for us.
Shabbat Shalom. I feel so privileged to be here today to celebrate with you and with Molly and Grant on their very special day. It was a beautiful service, and the wonderful Torah readings were amazing. So thank you so much. I am pleased to present several gifts to you and your brother. First is a beautiful certificate. Here's the certificates. There's Molly's, and I'll give you your brother's if I can. Yep. And then from the Women of TRS, there is a copy of the Reform Movement's Home Prayer Book. I'm going to give you both of these bags. Yeah, wait 1 second. I think I must not handle you. There we go. Inside the envelope are 2 gift certificates. The first is from NIFTY, the North American Federation of Temple Youth, to use towards travel in Israel during your high school years. And the second is a gift certificate from our youth committee and Tristy. And then there's finally a Kiddush cup from the clergy. It's our hope that you will use the Kiddush cup each Shabbat as you continue to celebrate your Jewish life. And now you can take your gifts to your seats. Anyway, I want to again say Shabbat Shalom, and thank you all so much for being with us today. We hope you are able to come back another time, and we wish you a very wonderful Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Susan. I know the family is looking forward to celebrating with you. So a couple of public service announcements for that moment, which will just be very, very soon after our closing song and benediction. And that is that Kids Without Rides, there is a shuttle bus out in the parking lot that can take you to the reception. You're just going to head right to the reception. The family looks forward to welcoming all of you and speaking with you there. Before that, we're going to close, as I said, with a song and a benediction. And I would ask afterwards, invite you to please stay standing at your seats for a moment so that we on the Bima can make our way out in the lobby and off to the reception. And if you wouldn't mind closing the programs that you have and bringing them to the back and placing them on the music stand, that would be very helpful for us as well.
We conclude our service on page 321 with Adon Olam. We'll sing verses 1, 2, and 5. Please rise.
Adon Olam Hashem Allah, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, Le'ein nasa v'chefto kol, Azai melech shemo nikra, Azai melech shemo nikra.
This Shabbat, may we be inspired to work for justice. May we be inspired by the example of these young people who worked really hard to make today possible, to also work hard in our lives to connect to others and to what we believe in. And most of all, may we experience peace and connection. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.